Now's a tune to wave your lighters towards.
Put your lighters in the air.
All right, we're back. This is the Quarter Hour Spark again with Roger,
Callum,
Seamus,
Bronwyn.
and let's go. I think I have to pick the next topic now.
I
can't remember.
I don't even
Seamus, how many have you done?
One.
You've done
one, I think.
One.
Yeah.
Okay, Seamus.
One. I started, and then
1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah, it's me.
It shows how
Okay,
professional
okay.
we are.
Okay.
It's mine. Okay.
Okay, I will pick number 3.
Number 3. Okay, guys, 50 minutes on the clock. This is a nice one, right? The importance of fairy tales in the life of children.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
super important.
And it is assuming there is an importance in fairy tales.
This is true. This is very, very
Yeah.
true.
Implying.
I like this one.
What do you think?
Well, I think they give life lessons in a way that you can a child can cope with.
You're going to have a mortgage, son.
I think
Sleep well.
it can
Well,
give some,
you know.
moral of the story business, but what are the morals of, like, Cinderella and stuff?
Yeah, sometimes.
Don't forget your shoe.
Yeah, the other
Yeah, but no, but
ones-
you're thinking of the film adaptations like Disney. But if you actually read some of the books, they're a bit gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's apparently Snow White. Or was it Sleeping Beauty? One of them was basically the guy found her and kissed her, and she wouldn't wake up, so he basically like raped her while she was asleep, and that was the fairy tale.
that was a grim fairy tale or
Seamus.
something
Wow.
like that.
No,
But
they were pretty brutal. Some of
The
them.
thing is, though, the real ones nobody really reads until you're like our age or older, because
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to say that to your child as a bedtime story. The
Clearly
thing,
But
not.
maybe they did back in medieval.
Yeah.
So, you know.
the thing is, the modern ones now reinforce gender stereotypes,
Oh yeah.
which
yeah.
isn't good.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think.
This is like fall in love with the first man you meet.
Yeah, and like the damsel in distress, and you can't stand up for yourself, which like Disney and
Yeah.
all the other people are changing now, but it's,
Yeah.
it's
See,
still
I
you
don't
grow up with that.
I don't know.
Like Frozen
I
or-
think that, I actually think we're moving forward with the
Yeah,
whole thing. Because if you look at like Frozen, for example, there is no, although there are male figures, and although there is lovey-dovey stuff in it, it's not the prime focus of the film, unlike a lot of other Disney princess films.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it like they make a gimmick because the girl does fall in love with the first man she meets, and it's always
I
think
like,
that's
what are you
ironic.
doing? Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
like
no,
And
that.
then he turns out to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a contrast. The two sisters are like contrast.
Although they've got a
Yeah.
great singing number together.
The
Cool.
thing is, you know how all the old ones brought in the idea of love, the concept of love between a man and a woman.
No, what's that, Bronwyn?
No. Listen, hear me out.
Do not
And then-
compute.
But the ones now, Frozen, there is sisterly love. And have you seen Maleficent? There's love between a parent and a child.
Do you know, I've heard
No, I've
really,
not seen that, no.
really mixed things about Maleficent.
Maleficent is good.
I've heard
looks
it's
pretty
pants,
creepy.
and yet at the same time it's quite good.
No,
and yet at
it's
the same
good.
time it totally denies the story of Sleeping Beauty.
No, it just shows it from a different perspective. I think the story, it wasn't well executed, but the story itself was fantastic, I think. And that they've moved forward just from conventional love to other types of love. I think that's amazing.
I've not seen that, but when I seen the trailer for it, and I seen Angelina Jolie come out with those like that
She was horny.
The horns.
those horns though.
Those cheekbones, though.
It was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. It was.
No, I know that's what because
really, really scary.
that's what I think everybody was thinking mixed messages, because they were expecting something completely different from what it actually was. Like when I went into the cinema, I was expecting this scary kind of movie, and it was totally not that, which is a good thing because it surprised and confused the
And do you
audience.
think that creates good development for children?
Maleficent?
Well,
I don't
Or
know
things
if
that
that did.
just-
I was just going to say, how scary or how dark do you think children's fairy tales should be?
Yeah, I mean, maybe children need some darkness in
Yeah,
life.
for some reality, to instead of like
Mm.
cushion them, and yeah, but I think you could do it, enter it slowly into them as they're growing up, as in like not tiny 3-4-year-olds, but
Mm.
maybe 7-8-year-olds.
I do think it is necessary just to kind of see to develop empathy and whatnot, to see just kind of how dark the world can be, and that there
Yeah.
are these horrible things going. But what about fairy tales like Humpty Dumpty and short little nursery rhymes? Oh, that's a nursery rhyme. Does that
Yeah.
count as a
Yeah,
fairy
I
tale
would
as well?
say-
No, that's
What
we'll
does that
count it,
what does
we'll
that
count
what does
it.
that tell you? What does that give you?
hilarious images.
Yeah, I don't
Great
understand.
banter as a child.
gonna-
Great banter.
Oh, such laughs, Mum.
Yeah.
Totally LOLing at this Humpty fellow.
Well, a lot of rhymes,
Hashtag
a lot of
can't
rhymes
put better-
have their
All the prince horses at all Prince bed.
but a lot of these rhymes have quite dark meanings in there,
Hashtag cracked up.
where they I think
Yolks on you.
Oh, stop.
Sorry, let's shame
That was excellent. Sorry. I'm done. I'm done.
well a lot of
Oh.
these nursery rhymes have quite dark origins. So I think ring around the roses. I think that's meant to do with
It's a black
the
death.
Black Death.
Black Death, yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy
Well,
stuff.
Which
Well-
happened in 1351.
It's saying here that nursery rhymes
The more
are,
you know.
Nursery rhymes are used for children's learning because it helps them with their phonic language. It helps them with their tone, their pitch. Helps them understand sequences of events
Yeah.
because it's like they're really basic. So it would be kind of their first proper. They know how to construct a sentence.
Well, I don't know. See, old King Cole, like when they were up, they were up. And, like when they were down, then they were down. But then when they were only halfway up,
Are they
were,
up or down?
They were neither up nor down. See, as a kid, that blew my mind. I was like, where are they?
I don't understand what's
Tell me,
going
rhyme.
on. Yeah. No, but I can understand that it's that it would help them learn. I don't see any other reason for them.
They're just a bit of fun, really.
Yeah.
I used to love my granddad used to walk me to school.
Oh.
In the first primary school. So this is when you're. I think this is from ages 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 or something.
Okay.
And yeah, on the walk he would always recite loads of nursery rhymes and stuff.
That's
And
really
I
cute.
enjoyed that. I
That
really
is
enjoyed that.
nice.
Yeah.
What did that give you as a child, do you think, from being a kid to now? Like, what do you think that's, aside from a fond memory?
Yeah, well, I don't think I would get the same pleasure in nursery rhymes. They don't do me.
Roger likes to listen to,
Maybe it was a
kick back,
bonding thing.
listen to some Humpty Dumpty.
It could have been a
Yeah.
bonding thing as well.
Oh yeah,
I
totally.
I think even now we're still kind of learning, say, kind of like sayings as well. If Rosie's listening, bless her, things that we take for granted, like the phrase "the world is your oyster."
That's right, yeah.
And I remember saying it just off the cuff, and she was like, "But she's from Austria, so she took it quite literally." She's like, "Where's this oyster?
Yeah.
Show me this oyster." and she's like, "What does it mean?" I'm like, "I don't know what it means. It just means what it means."
I
The
think-
world is your seafood sticky
yeah.
thing.
I think you can. Last week we talked about tradition and family traditions.
We did,
If
yeah.
a nursery rhyme has actually bad, bad morals or a bad underlying premise towards in the story,
Yeah.
then we shouldn't ought to just be kind of reciting anymore. It's just tradition. It's just like a story I knew when I grew up.
What's an example of a bad nursery rhyme or bad fairy tale, would you say?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
'Cause I know
I'm
there's a
trying to
lot-
remember them, to be honest.
there's
I
a- I
can't
know,
even remember
it's-
them. It's actually hard.
There's a lot of dark ones, that like we actually have. I can't remember where it is in the house. Mum and Dad, if you're listening, try and find that. We actually had one of the original Grimm's fairy tale books,
Yeah.
and that was. I mean, I remember us reading some of them as a kid, and they were savage. There's one which is like the mouse, the sparrow, and the sausage,
Oh wow.
which sounds hilarious, right? But it's all about basically it's these three characters. One of them is a sparrow, one's a mouse, one's a sausage, and they all have these set jobs. And one day, one of them gets bored of doing the same job, so they switch roles, and they all die in different ways. And that basically shows you that if you go away from the thing that you're good at doing and the thing you're supposed to do, bad things will happen.
I don't agree with that.
How
I
is
don't
the- how
agree
is-
with
that's
that at
bad.
all.
That's an
Yeah.
extremely
People should-
dark story.
People should,
Yeah.
try to develop and try
Yeah, and
new
expand.
trades and skills. Yeah.
And is Goldilocks the one with the bears? And then basically
Yes, yes,
about
Seamus.
not being. Is it? I don't know what the message is,
bears
but from
and
what
the-
I understand, is it not about basically don't be picky with your food?
No, it's about don't steal, or you will get eaten.
I think
Or you'll
picky.
get
I think
eaten.
pickiness as well, because it's not
Yeah.
just about
Was
food.
it-
'cause
And
it's-
greed.
Because it's too
I
hot
guess.
or something too cold.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
the
it's
porridge is
just
too hot. The
right.
bed
Yeah,
is
too
just
big,
right.
too.
And she gets eaten
small.
by the bears, does she?
Yeah, she
think
gets
so,
eaten
yeah.
by the
If you are not,
bears.
the moral of the story is, if you're not grateful, giant talking porridge eating bears that sleep in human beds will mess you up.
and what's the one with those two kids? The
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, they get eaten
That's
as
basically
well.
about greed, isn't
No,
it?
they don't get eaten
No,
as well.
they were going to
Yeah,
get
the
eaten.
witch.
It's about
Oh, they-
greed.
they
so.
do.
Yeah, the witch got cooked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they
That
put
was
they
it.
put, put
But
it in the oven.
okay, to be honest, I think you can make these are maybe they tell a bad story or something, but we've all heard these stories as a child, and I don't think it's had that bad an effect on us.
No.
I don't know.
You can definitely maybe you can tell them as some fun as a child, but you can develop out of it.
The thing
later
is,
years.
though, kids are getting desensitized more and more at a younger age because of GTA or whatever else, and the violence on
GTA.
and the violence on news and stuff like that. It doesn't have if I told a child of maybe 8 years old one of these tales, even the grim ones, they'd be like, "Okay, that was the worst story ever." They wouldn't care about all the gore or anything like that in it. I
think it depends how the child is raised.
Yeah.
Because it makes me sad sometimes. Tied into technology one a little bit. It makes me sad to see like 3-year-olds who can perfectly operate iPads and stuff like that. And
Makes
like,
you
that's
sad.
that's
A
it
tear
makes-
rolls
I've
down
known
your cheek.
cases of people who like children who they use iPads and stuff all the time, and you click and you swipe and all this stuff, and then they've been given like a newspaper in real life, and they're like tapping on the photos and trying to like enlarge, and it's like it's a newspaper. Yeah,
But
That's all you know.
yeah, but it's natural development of us as a society and as a species.
Maybe, Roger. Maybe they're just pointing to the picture.
Oh well, I wouldn't try to prop up natural development I mentioned it before with the evolution of zombies and stuff, but I wouldn't talk about that as like a good thing. I don't think we should put evolution wherever what's natural on a pedestal and go, oh, this is the goal to aim for. We should evolve and all this business.
Yeah,
I think
but
it's a
do you
fallacy.
It's a theory. It's the best theory we know now.
No, I don't think so.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like, you don't have to take it like people think it's like that's it. That's nothing else is going to beat that. But everything's always hence the word evolving. So
Right.
Theories as
Going
well.
back to the question, what do we feel is the importance of fairy tales for children? How important are fairy tales?
I think they were important, and
You think they were important? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't think they are so much anymore because there are other things to instill morals into children.
Yeah.
So we've outgrown fairy tales. That's a very sad thing
I don't know
to
how
think.
important they are as also for the adult. I think they can be some fun. You
Yeah.
can bond over them. But the importance, maybe we could do away with them.
Kids
No,
need magic.
Yeah.
Kids need magic.
Kids need
Fairy
magic.
tales
a
have
bit of
magic.
innocence in their life before the
Yeah.
brutal
The harsh reality.
reality sets in.
No, I think,
magic is the devil's tool.
I genuinely believe
Yeah.
kids need that. Kids need that, and kids need imagination. And fairy tales spark both of those things. I'm totally for fairy
Yeah.
tales.
No, I'm
So-
for fairy tales, but I don't know if they're as important as they were before.
But they can be, just because people are
it's 'cause
people being lazy.
They're
People
not as
saying,
popular. Yeah.
"Here, have this iPad,"
Yeah.
as opposed to sitting down and making up a story for a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I liked
Mhm.
about them is also just the history, because a lot of them are set like in medieval history, and I like kind of just that little insight into this is what people used to talk about. This is kind of the context and situation. I think that's a good starter into looking back and saying, well, this isn't anything that's relevant to do with our situation right now.
Yeah. Seamus, what do you think, buddy?
What? Yeah. Obviously, they're not as popular now, but you're talking about relevance. But you can. It's like with we were talking about this in English with stories, like the death of the author and how
It's a great read.
Basically the reason why classic novels are still read is because we're always trying to take new ideas from them and how they're relevant to now. So fairy tales,
How they're relevant to us as individuals
Yes.
as well.
So
Just one book
I
can be
think-
read in 1,000 ways.
So I think fairy tales can do the same thing
Mm-hmm.
for kids.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think kids are seeking so much sort of some, cathartic narrative of their lives that adults definitely look for in books.
I don't think some adults would know what a cathartic narrative
Yeah.
is.
Well, something describes your situation. Something describes what it is to be human or something. Something you can put the right words or paint the right situation and the right music, even that gets the mood right and something. But I don't think kids are suffering such existential crisis as I am.
Yeah, they just read books for enjoyment, not to seek out morals.
You're suffering inside, kids. You're suffering inside.
Oh boy.
My goodness. Right, so guys, we're reaching the last minute of the final topic before we go on to discuss our weeks and ask people how their weeks are. So what would we like to say as a general overview to the importance of fairy tales in children?
Seamus, you're definitely for him, yeah.
Yeah, and I think they
Your Team Sparkle.
Team Sparkle. I think they form a really good base for children to grow from and learn from. Obviously, they're not going to find the deeper meaning in them, but I think they do have a kind of, they're like the basic framework for them to go on and develop ideas.
I'm not so convinced of their necessity, but I'm not against them either. I don't mind keeping them. I'd like them, yeah.
Would you tell fairy tales to your kids?
I would.
Seamus, would you tell fairy tales to your kids?
Yeah, I definitely would.
Brahman, what are you thinking on this?
Yeah, I love fairy tales, and personally I would read them to my kids as well, because they are a bit of magic and they are a bit of fun. I don't see the morals in them so much. I would instill morals in my kids a different way, but
With injections.
I don't know. But yeah, I would. I'm still for fairy tales. I'm still for them. So I don't want them to die out.
No, I don't think they will do.
Yeah.
My final note on this, guys, before we, I guess, just kind of talk to you guys as who we are, is hashtag I do believe in fairies.
I do believe.
As we were really saying that. I loved that. I loved Peter Pan and all that kind of thing. I like what Disney did with fairy tales.
Yeah.
How they kind of, in fact, Disney. That's a good point. Disney kind of gave fairy tales a new life. They gave them like a second life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
that is true.
Yeah, you're right. And they were
Yeah, I'm right, Roger.
Oh, I agree.
I'm
I agree.
totally right.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's some of the best movies, and
I think Disney in general is
Yeah.
just like up here.
I think Disney
Yeah.
was an extension of fairy tales when you were younger. So you read the books, and you got read the books to you, and then you started watching the movies like The Fox and the Hound, stuff like that.
Fox and the Hound. I haven't watched that in years.
Yeah, and then you're like, so that backs up all the morals and stuff like that, and it like friendship is good and stuff like that. I don't know.
Shotguns are bad.
yeah, I liked Rob. Oh man, I don't even know the name. Robin Red. No, I was
Robin
going to say
Hood.
Red Riding Hood. Robin Hood. Yes, it's just
Yeah.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood is a
Roger's making
fox.
Roger's making hybrid films here.
Robin Red Riding Hood.
The fox one, the
Yeah,
animated
the
one,
fox
the
one, I
animals,
like
yeah.
that.
I like the music to that.
Yeah,
I like the music to most Disney, to be fair.
I
Yeah,
like the
generally,
older Disney music. I don't know about you guys, but I think that one's much better.
Yeah,
than the
to
new
be honest, I
one.
didn't like Frozen because it's a musical.
Yeah, I
I
know.
didn't dig the song.
Oh, Roger, you see all those fans you've gained. You've just lost
Yeah,
them.
I know.
mate.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
'Cause you let it go.
It's
Oh, no.
they've melted away.
Hey. Question is, do you want to board a snowman?
Do I want to board a snowman?
No,
Build
build-
a snowman. do you want to mount a snowman?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Ride it down
Say
the
what?
mountain.